and welcome back to me, Rebecca Gillard, and joined by Ben Fox today. Hi, Ben.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So we've got our top four match then at Batalla. We've got Daniel playing Tyrell Crossing on the left, and Marco playing Tyrell Watch on the right. I don't really know much about the games that were going on during the day, so do you know anything about their decks at all, Ben? Is there any insight you can give from these?
Yeah, with Tyrell Crossing, there wasn't huge variance between decks as such. The really big difference there was in terms of plots. So that seems to be really kind of where they can distinguish themselves. So in the other game, for example, there was a massive difference. The other top four game that's going on concurrently with this, there was a massive difference between Ryan's deck and Nicola's deck, where the initiative in the plot deck makes a huge change. Other than that, there was nothing, I don't think, too surprising in them, where you have your usual four renowned characters and then it's enough to be able to toss out all the challenges.
Yeah.
And then the other deck, Matt Guida's deck, is Tyrell Watch. So that one's done actually fairly well in a couple of places. I was playing a similar deck to that throughout the tournament. And it's really good. I think it gives you quite a lot of options compared to the normal Watch deck. It gives you more control over challenges. You can choose where you apply your strength and things like that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anyone playing a Tyrell Watch deck actually, or if I have, not that I remember, which sounds terrible.
Yeah, there's some debate about those, because a lot of people are very kind of upset that it's a deck at all. They're just saying, look, it's Arbor, Ocean Road, and then all Night's Watch characters, and that's kind of a very limited idea of the deck.
Yeah.
But you can see there, actually, that Tyrell Crossing is already exploiting the idea that the watch might not be getting the value. Definitely not running matched, so you can just able to toss them out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dan's setup was very, very risky, playing Renly with the bodyguard and then the Rose Road there. I mean, if Michael was playing March, that would have been quite a hit for him to take. But yeah, I mean, I think we've got... I guess what you'd expect if it's Watch, going to, he'd serve first, going at Eamon. What do you think about the plot choices, especially the trading first turn? I'm seeing that less and less nowadays.
Well, the trading first turn I think is not entirely unusual for the Tyrell Crossing decks, because they're trying to spit out characters so fast that even if the reset tries to push them back a small bit, the giant board is going to absolutely destroy them, the opposition. Because they're looking to win really kind of towards plot 3's late game.
Yeah. I noticed that Dan's just played another dupe on Renly. I'd be interested to know if he had that in hand and didn't play it out on the setup just in case Marco had that marched.
I'd say it's more likely he drew it. In this situation, if you're playing something like that out, you got to be pretty certain that he's not running it. And the decks were relatively known at this point. So, while you might have a few kind of surprising watch decks like the one he sent over with a half-man, half-hand, where you have a more aggressive Night's Watch, this is fairly standard.
Should we have a quick look at what's on the board as well? So, Dan's obviously just marshalled. He's put out, is that Renly's Pavilion there at the bottom?
So we have Renly's Pavilion, Rose Road, and you're going to have the chair as well. So that one is another difference you'd see between some of the Tyrell Crossing decks. Not everybody would run it.
Yeah.
But I think that one is really handy. But sometimes you actually need to be a little bit aware of it, in terms of if you deny your opponent dominance, sometimes you might not have anything to claim for power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't think because I've got a Tyrell Crossing deck and I don't think I play Iron Throne in that one. But I can see why you'd play it. I mean, obviously, any extra help with passive power gain is useful. The alt art on the board there, is that Brienne? I'm trying to figure it out.
The alt art Knight of Flowers.
Oh, is that Knight of Flowers? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh. And it's actually a pretty cool one. They have him actually holding a rose and everything, so it's quite neat. And there's some nice alt arts out there. There's the New York Lord of the Crossing one, which is probably the most amazing alt art that I don't own.
Okay, do you know where this alt art came from?
The Knight of Flowers?
Yeah.
That one, I'm not too sure. I've seen some of those at Worlds, but I don't know exactly where, what tournament that was given out at.
Fair enough. we've got a military coming in then from the Knight of Flowers. It was defended by Thorin, but we've been using the Renly Pavilion here to boost Knight of Flowers and reduced was it the Steward that was reduced there?
It seems so, yeah. Actually, Malco's board recovered nicely because initially when he came in, it was just all intrigue icons with very little else. So the final 2 characters really managed to round out the board nicely.
Yeah, this helped, doesn't it? Should the Haunted Forest be Nelton here?
He lost the challenge, so that's worth them remembering it there.
Yeah, awesome.
Because sometimes it can be funny that way, like players remember that the effect is gone, but not necessarily to kneel it.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot, doesn't it?
Because I think a lot of it is even coming from the start of the game, like where you had the red keep, which doesn't kneel as such, it's just you can no longer trigger it.
Yeah. I've seen people like sometimes with the red keep, people just kneel it to remind themselves that they can no longer use it.
Yeah, but there's more and more kind of effects coming into the game now, where you suddenly get relevance out of locations that never knelt before. So, for example, you can see now with King Balon, where suddenly you got whole new uses coming in for things like the warships and the Iron Mines.
Yeah.
So it's really important kind of to keep track of where the board state is at. And some of it is interesting, like there was an interesting point made at Dockside Brothel. So in their commentary, like Jamie Banfield was saying, like in terms of putting power on Winter Festival.
Yeah.
In that it is actually against the rules, so it's a question of how many of these aids can people really use.
Yeah, that's a fair point, because I guess if you put it on the faction card to remind, sorry, not the faction card, the plot card to remind yourself about the power in Winter Festival, sometimes it can get knocked, and I think I remember someone saying actually that it was a bit confusing about powers were. Yeah,
that was really interesting from Daniel, like watching the patience he's got from it, because it can be very tempting from the crossing just to lob all the challenges across and try and shoot up in power and give your opponent much of the same.
Yeah.
So there he went very patiently, block the challenges so there wouldn't be any excessive ones coming in.
Yeah. I think he played that very well at the beginning there. Like you say, he didn't go all out, and I know, like, I like playing crossing a lot, and I know I have a tendency to put too much into my crossing challenges, and then I leave myself wide open for the returns, and my opponent's getting, far too many unopposed challenges, and I do have to sort of check myself nowadays and just sort of make sure that I'm not, going too full in with it. But yeah, he played it well at the beginning to, make sure he's got things standing and ready to defend.
Yeah, I'm still suspicious of this whole Last of the Spaniards thing they have going at Batalla, because a lot of the travelling contingent are seriously focused players, like turning up to try and steal all the prizes, all the glory, whatever it is.
Right.
So you're often going to end up with the local players getting pushed down. And at Batalla, I think both the last 2 years, there was like one Spaniard in the top 8. And but the guys are going really strong. So my suspicion is very much that the Spaniards have some kind of ritual where they pool all their skill into a single player and just have him play as the champion.
Really?
I think it's the only reasonable explanation.
Oh, not heard anything about that.
I'm sure they wouldn't admit to it.
I don't know really how you do it, though. I mean, what would you make sure
Black magic
gets all of the attention in play or something?
Oh no, like voodoo and such.
Oh, right, really? What? Voodoo?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, the Spanish aren't well known for it, which is all the more reason to do it.
Like, this video commentary has suddenly got really, really weird. I don't quite know what's going on. So I'm going to, focus on board state.
Yeah.
Craven on Knight of Flowers in Renly there, then.
Craven on everybody.
Craven on everybody. So Dan can only attack with Randall, although he does have the Heartsbane on him. And then also he's got the Courtesan of the Rose to attack with as well. So he can technically still get all 3 challenges through. Yeah, diverting from the voodoo talk.
But you can see it was probably a bit of a whiff on the building orders, because I'd say he was pretty desperate to see the wall nice and early in this match.
Yeah, I think because obviously I had to watch this before to put all the edits in. I think Marco did say that he struggled to find the wall especially towards the beginning here. And
see, sometimes there can be a question with decks like that, because the Tyrell Watch has so many locations, it's somewhat less reliant on characters than even the normal Night's Watch. So the question is, how aggressively do you try to mulligan for the wall? Like, do you reject every hand that doesn't have the wall in it?
I have seen people play like that, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes that can be a bit bad for yourself, basically. If you're that desperate for the wall, then if you don't find the wall, you need to have some form of contingency plan.
But I think their setups are a lot more forgiving because they don't have a lot of huge characters. A lot of the characters are small, so your number of bad setups is quite limited. So you can kind of afford to be that little bit greedier with the mulligan.
Yeah, that's fair enough, because they've got quite a lot of low-cost characters and things, so even if they mulligan and they still don't find the wall, they should theoretically have things that they can play out. But, I do think you have to be careful with wall decks not to focus too much on one thing. You need to have some sort of contingency plan, and I think that's the same in any deck. Even if you, have a main thing you want to go for, you do need backup plans. I just want to quickly point out there, though, Dan missed the 2 power claim from the Winter Festival. So he should be on 9 now.
That's exactly what we were talking about. On the one hand, you can't really put the power on it. On the other hand, like how quickly and easily, how easy you end up forgetting it.
Yeah, exactly. That might prove a problem later in the game, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out with that.
You also have to wonder if Night's Watch were a little too eager with the double Cravens. Because in reality, like, Randall is the big all-star monster in that deck.
Yeah.
So if you have a spare Craven and he hasn't hit the board yet, with Randall already milked, would it have been better off trying to save it for a turn?
That's a very good point. Like you say, Randall is so important in the Tyrell Crossing deck because he can do all 3 challenges if needed, or at least be able to defend. It might have been better to hold on for the Craven, or even like maybe a milk. I mean, if like Marco was to find another milk now, that would hurt Randall too. I guess we'll just have to see what he finds.
Yeah, it's also a question of how does the actual Tyrell Crossing solve the attachment problem? Because in one thing I saw, because it's easy just in terms of deck construction, in terms of when you're thinking about it. For attachments, you decide whether or not you put them in confiscation.
Yeah.
But when you look at, what was that one, Weapons at the Door, that bounces all attachments starter challenges.
Yeah, that's good, but it can also be detrimental towards Tyrell Crossing because they like to have their Heartsbane, their Crown of Golden Roses and things like that, their Mare and Heat to help those challenges go through. So I think Tyrell's got enough attachments that, like Weapons at the Door and things like that, it would probably be more of an annoyance than a help. The Craven and the Milk's annoying, don't get me wrong, but if you've got confiscation, you can normally help your main character. Because Stark's obviously got Arya's gift to move annoying things around. Has Tyrell got anything else that they can help with them?
Not really. There isn't that many options yet against attachments. So you have a couple of plots, and outside of that, you're really kind of faction-specific solutions.
Yeah, because I think there's the Maester thing, isn't there? Is it a Maester's Chain to remove attachments? So
which removes attachments and dominance. That one is really cool, actually, because you don't have to put it on your Maester, which infuriates people when you stick something on their Maester and suddenly.
Yeah, I never realised that. That's quite cool. Because I know at the Dockside tournament, Donovan, the other Stark player who got into the top 4 with me, he was playing like the Maester Chain and other weird Maester events, like the Maester Healing Saving event or something.
Yeah.
But that was really interesting to see because I don't think I'd seen anybody ever play that. I was really confused when he used it in our game, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, it's a pretty cool deck build actually, because that one is a deck he based on the Tournoi deck.
Okay.
So it's actually a Stark deck built by the guy who won the Tournoi de la Mort in Paris.
Right. Yeah.
Which then was using healing expertise and Maester's Chain which was really, really interesting. It gives Stark a lot of game against Night's Watch, because then effectively you have recurring solutions.
Yeah, no, it was a really interesting deck, and I said to him at the beginning of the top 4, I said, I kind of prefer him to go through than me, because I've already played Talos once, like the previous day in the Swiss, and I was like, I had no chance whatsoever. But I thought at least maybe Donovan's had like enough sort of, you know, interesting stuff to actually be annoying with it and you know, possibly do something with it. So I just wanted to quickly point out as well that in the challenges here that are going on, Dan used Renly's Pavilion to reduce the strength of the, I think it's the Swarm Brother that he's touching now that he's about to use. So that's actually on 0 strength, and I think Marco's forgotten that. And Dan's just gone in with a power challenge. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, but he's really hit the critical mass on characters.
Sorry, say it again, please.
He's really hitting critical mass on characters. Like if that Tyrell deck is playing Valor, it's really got to start looking at it.
Yeah.
Very, very soon.
The left-hand board is pretty insane at the moment. Look how much power's on the board that is unprotected as well. Valor would be brilliant. Yeah, I think Marco forgot completely here. So, like, Dan's taking, crossing, unopposed, reminding
Well, you see the pause there going, oh my god, where's all those power tokens going?
Yeah, exactly. So if you look at the score now, he's on 13. So if he remembered his Winter Festival, then he'd have been on the 15.
Yeah, but I still sense a heads on spikes in the not-too-distant future.
Yeah, if he's running heads on spikes, it would be a good shot right now.
Yeah. But let's hope for Valor, because Valor takes 6 power off the Tyrell board.
Yeah. So Valor on the side, but Filthy on the Aemon. That's a very naughty play, but well done with it.
How rude.
But pretty much everyone said. So Marjorie had one of the ladies as a dupe, so she's safe. Renly had the ridiculous amount of bodyguard and dupe, so he's all right. But unfortunately, our Knight of Flowers of 2 power and the Randall of 3 is now dead. So we've dropped right back down to 8 again. So the game would have been over then if Winterfest had been remembered. But, you know, sometimes it's just hard to remember it, isn't it? It's just making sure you don't miss that trigger at the end of the phase.
Yeah, but that one, especially when you're that deep into a tournament, like, because the amount of things you've got to take into account. Like, I've seen the best players in the world actually miss that. And, you know, here, like, we're playing in the top 4, like, at Worlds, I got to play against Ryan Jones, who's got card designs to his name. Yeah. And even he was able to miss the Winter Festival trigger.
Oh, really?
After spending, like, the 6-month rocky montage of preparing for the tournament, whipping his teammates, like, for every time they forget the Winter Festival.
Yeah, it's just so easy done, isn't it? And, like it's really difficult to know what to do. Like you say, you're not allowed to technically put the power on the plot card, but you know, a lot of people forget it otherwise. And it's the same with Latest and Feast actually. Like the amount of times someone's played it against me and we've both forgotten about it, and then at the end we're both like, oh crap, yeah, like, you know. And the thing is like where do you draw the line with it? I mean, with the Late Summer Feast, I know it's a forced reaction, but I may take the card, so you know, like, should the other player, like, remind me? Should they not? Is it down to my own fault if I forget these things? But sometimes it's just difficult to decide what's the best thing to do with it. Just having a quick look here on the board. So, got Power coming with Marjorie, Hearthbane to pump them up, Renly's Pavilion, again, to pump and to lower. So the power goes through. Dan wins that challenge, and then they've just taken Dom and stood him back up. So it's a very, very quick little round there.
The tragically depleted Night's Watch board here, like, is really struggling. Because on the one hand, like, the Tyrell is down to 1 character that can attack, but there's so much power out there already, and there's just absolutely nothing coming into the watch.
Yeah. On the right-hand side, though, like you said, they've got no power. So in that last challenge, in the last round, Dan, I think, forgot about that and was really pushing through that power challenge, forgetting the fact that there's no power to actually take anyway. So I just put a note on the bottom there just to remind everyone, well, just to let people know what's going on. So pulling the strings was used to trigger the Filthy, Kneeling Marge. And on the left-hand side, Dan played Goes the Harrenhal to bring Randall back in. and Marco got Howder back. So Howder's annoying in himself, isn't he? He's got such a good ability, and you get a practice blade on him. He's pretty awesome. It's very annoying to play against, but he's pretty awesome to play with, I think.
Yeah, but the most infuriating part of him is kneeling the Craven on somebody else's character.
Oh, I love it.
That induces such rage.
It's so
to see somebody reach across the table to use the thing that's already screwing one of your characters to further devastate you.
It's such a pain in the butt. And that it is, isn't it? It's that moment of horror. Like, you think you've won the challenge. You're, oh, fantastic, I won. And they're like, yeah, you've got like 3 Cravens on your side. I'm going to kneel them, win the challenge. And you're like, bog off. I want to win something. I've got one character that can attack. But yeah.
Corn as well is a really big part of kind of your skill improvement as a Night's Watch player, because there's a lot of options with him. So, for example, if you are looking at actually losing the unopposed, you then have the options of kneeling the wall to give somebody a bonus, because the bonus is for the phase.
Yeah.
And you can do the same thing with Haunted Forests and things like that.
We saw Tamas doing that actually in the game with Ryan. I think it was on our previous Batalla video.
Yeah.
And I really, really did enjoy watching Tamas play and playing against him as well, actually, at Dockside. He's very, very methodical. He seems to know exactly what he's doing. It's very rare that he makes a mistake. And when he does play, like, he does do moves that I wouldn't have thought of. And yeah, I really enjoy watching him play because I feel like I learn a lot. So I wanted to quickly point out on Marco's side of the board, it looks like he's duped something, but it's actually a Castle Black and a Haunted Forest, so they're 2 different cards. Just to be aware.
Marco, que fai? No, I don't agree with that.
No?
That's just confusing. That's messing with the board state. I know they have a million locations eventually.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, so long as Dan realises, I guess it's all right. But yeah, I don't like it when people sort of put cards on top of other cards that are actually individual cards. Someone did that to me in a tournament with raiding longships, and I didn't realise at the time that they were unique. Non-unique, and I thought it was one card.
Yeah.
Put it on top, and then he was like, yeah, kneel the 2. Basically, I would have won the game if it wasn't for that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty annoying. So yeah, don't dupe cards that shouldn't be duped, guys. It's mean.
Pulling the string is actually a really cool plot. I really enjoyed kind of the last few months using it in the Tyrell Watch variants. It gives quite a lot of flexibility. It also really awards you for being patient.
Yeah.
So kind of because almost everybody's running counting coppers now that Valor is a thing, and you kind of have the third act of the game. So if you can wait out your opponent and be able to pull the strings on their counting coppers, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I really do like pulling the strings. Like you say, it's you've got so much versatility in what you're doing. You're always going to hit something useful, aren't you?
But yeah, the initiative on it is the big drawback. Like it's funny, like seeing how much value there is in initiative now.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more important, isn't it? Just a quick heads up on the board for anybody who hadn't noticed. Castle Black got Nightmares, and Marco's just kneeling it now with Howder's ability. It's not being knelt with the +2 in the stand and everything. It's being used with Howder's ability just to give a +1. So yeah, just as a heads up if anybody hadn't realised. So yeah, Marco's just checking with the math. So he's got 4 with Benjin, 5 with Castle Black being now the Craven 6. But I think Dan is still winning this one. Randall's on 6 as well with the military. Oh no, because he got Haunted Forest.
So but didn't he take the 1 off? Who did he take the 1 off?
I don't know. I didn't quite catch it. So I'm afraid I can't help with that one. Yeah,
because if you use the -1 on Benjamin, then he's winning. But
yeah, but they're taking too long to think about it, so I'm assuming he isn't winning at the moment. Is this
where did that -1 go? The mystery.
Yeah. Comment below, guys, if you spotted it. Okay, yeah. So that challenge went through, and Eamon was knelt to save a character. Finally coming in with a power challenge with Randall, who immediately...
Yeah, there was -1 to Benjamin. I guess just Marco was coming to terms with the fact that they keep winning.
So Superior Claim played on the left. Marco immediately cancels it with a Hand's Judgment, so he didn't get all that extra power gain there. But yeah, Dan's right back up again on 13 power. So he's been in control the whole game. You know, Marco's not found the wall.
Yeah, Marco never really got going, because especially when the Valor happened, the fact he was able to kneel Aemon and take Thorin off the board.
Yeah.
Because on a really, really tight board, Thorin could actually make quite a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Because if he can put himself into a position to start winning challenges, then that's a really big deal. And the other one, of course, as we saw from the top 8 game with Tomas and Ryan, is the Shadow Tower. Is really, really massive in this matchup.
Yeah, I think Marco's very unlucky with not finding the wall, and as I say, not having a Shadow Tower or anything like that. But hopefully, you know, like, well, I mean, it can't be a thing that happens commonly with him, because, you know, he's in the top 4, so this is probably just been a bad game for him, not finding what he needs to find. But yeah,
no, he did really well. It was actually himself and his brother both came over to play. So right. Italians actually have a few very active brother pairings on the European tournament circuit.
Yeah.
So you have the Tebaldi brothers and now the Guida brothers.
Oh, okay.
So really, really nice guys and pretty good players too.
I know that.
So I think it was actually Marco knocked out his brother in the top 16 or something.
Okay.
Which was ridiculously unfair.
It's good that it's you know, like a family thing can happen as well with, you know, the whole Thrones community. I like that there's like brothers and, you know, well, I was going to say sisters, but there's not so many girls that play, so maybe not sisters. Lots of brothers that can play. There's a set of twins, I think, at the Dockside tournament, but I never saw one with the other one, so I didn't quite twig to they were twins until someone was like, yeah, there's twins, and I was like, what? Wow, I totally missed that one. I've probably like been talking to like one of them and then like talking to the other one thinking it's the same person or something.
Just continuing the conversation.
Yeah.
And they were too polite to say anything about it.
Probably. They're probably used to it. And yeah, so poor Dan over here has not got very many characters with which to actually do anything. As Randall,
he doesn't need it. He's got Mega Randall.
Randall's Cravened.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's not a lot he can do at the moment. He's gonna go with a cheeky intrigue.
They're almost through the plots now, so
yeah.
No big deal. And considering Marco still has 15 power to go, he's really under no pressure to do anything, really.
Yeah, I think Dan can. Well, so long. I don't know. He's really going for this intrigue challenge, isn't he? Okay.
Sometimes you get a situation like that, like, and you just want a sense of agency over the board. It's like, damn it, I'm participating.
Yeah. Leaning over to Neil the Cravens there.
How much do we have now? I have 5.
I think Dan's desperate to win this intrigue. I'm not entirely sure why.
Just to remind himself that he's still in it. Because when you have that, when you have your board is Craven, and the half that isn't Craven is largely decorative.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
I'd have been tempted to use the scout maybe to give Marjorie stealth to try and force through the power. But...
What? You would be tempted to lose 50% of your non-Craven characters?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe do an intrigue with the scout first. I don't know.
Sure, characters are cheap when they're not your own.
Yeah.
See, the Winter Festival there, like, is almost unfortunate to have it that early, when he almost doesn't want the power on his faction card until he balances out the Boris model.
Yeah, we've got Marco's first player. We got these 2 power from the Winter Festival. Dan's on 14 because he won Dom. He just needs 1 power. I'm not sure what else is going to happen here. Do you reckon Marco will try and attack? I mean, he can push through a power, I think, can't he?
Well, you can probably have a go. See, like a lot of his bonuses don't work on the other side. Oh, there we go. Milk and Marjorie.
Oh wow.
We'll see what he drops.
Flooding the board with chuds by the looks of it.
But the Garden Caretakers are one icon away from being relevant. Like, if you could just get something to throw the military challenge across, just have the little bodies going in on the crossing challenge.
Yeah. So Marco passed his challenges here. I think he could have forced through a power if he wanted to. But
at what cost?
Yeah, I think, well, because it's only Marjorie and the Caretakers that can attack with power. So I think he could have if he wanted to, but he probably just wanted the game over. And
yeah, it also could be the concern that, he's worried about if he gets it wrong, Randall just claims the defensive renown.
Yeah, that's true. But they're literally just adding up for Dom now. And Dan wins Dom.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But there is some of that, like when you get to a point this deep, like when you're through the plots and you've got 13 power to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess once you're at that point, you don't really need to do any challenges to wait for Dom.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that was the first of potentially 3 rounds, and we'll have the second game between these two coming up soon. Thanks for joining me, Ben, and yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Bye!